Scott, what did you think when you got the news in Columbus, Ohio, that our students wanted to put Into the Woods on as a musical?
It was very interesting because just a few months before, I had been up to Amherst and we had done a presentation, a showing of our project that we had done 5 years earlier of Sweeney Todd. Back between 2005 and 2011, I would come up every year and we'd produce a musical during interterm. And that was one of the, I think, very successful examples of what that musical event could be. And Mark was intent to have a showing of that for some interested students on campus to sort of gauge interest and see if this was something we would explore, perhaps bringing back into fruition. And in fact, he and I had already had some discussion as to what repertoire would we want to look at. And indeed, we had already thought Into the Woods would be a great candidate for the exact reason that Jayson was saying. So it was very fortuitous then when I got the phone call from Mark saying, you know, Jayson Paul, who you met when you were up here, as well as Fernando Luis Lopez, who actually came as well to that showing, had shown up at his office and asked, what do you think about this, Mark? Can you give us some advice as to how to go about looking at Sondheim's Into the Woods? And I thought, how funny that it was sort of in the air, that we were already sort of discussing, in a sense, the same topic, the same sort of piece. And truly for those similar reasons, the idea in my mind that I had seen all around us in culture, in society, in our political environment, the sense of fracturing of communities and the sense of a feeling of disenfranchisement. And this was a piece that I thought would be very applicable to Amherst in particular, because it also is about a transition point in a community from self-orientation and self-goals to the idea of communal goals and communal needs, and how to bring those things together. The transition from youth to adulthood, the transition from naivete to knowledge, the transition from idealism to realism. And I felt like that's truly kind of encapsulates the college experience overall, but also very specifically about the issues that we're facing in our culture today. So it was wonderful to hear that, and I of course said I would love to be involved if at all possible, if the logistics can sort of work itself out around scheduling. And at that point, I think Mark then approached Jayson as well with this idea, and we started moving forward. And Jayson, of course, has put in countless hours on trying to work out all of the logistics to make this work in schedules for the students, as well as the sort of the funding and support from the campus, the community, and from the student government, which I think has really made this all possible.